Step 8 says, get started now. It's time for action. I want to congratulate you for getting to this point in the workbook and this audio program. This says something about you. It says that you're dedicated, you're committed. You want this to become a reality in your life. Now, what I want you to understand is the secret in getting underway, this process of building and developing your business. You need to become a promoter and an implementer of this 8-step system, the absolutely proven 8-step mechanism for creating the success that you want in your business. You see, folks, everything that we want to create for you, it's all about duplication. And this 8-step system is the key to duplication. If we take a look at what we've done so far coming up to step 8, number 1, we talked about your dreams, the foundation of your business. We had to get some objectives on what you want to accomplish. Number 2, we hope that you choose a positive attitude, that you set yourself up to succeed. Number 3, we talked about creating 2 lists, your most valuable asset, your resource from which you're going to work. Step 4, we talked about leading with the product, how to have success every day with that. Step 5, how to lead with the opportunity. You're going to get better and better at that. Step 6, we set out some initial objectives of where we'd like to help you get to. Step 7, we talked about counseling upline. Well, step 8, now it's time to get underway. Now it's time to look at the most duplicatable activity of long-term growth, which is what we call the home event small group presentation. So let's step back and let's take a look. And I want you to understand that this is a learning curve, okay? You're not going to be perfect at this as you get underway, but there's going to be help in this process, okay? In 30 to 60 days, you're going to have mastered this. You'll have it down to a science. And so let's take a look, first of all, at the big picture. So whether it's step 4, leading with the product, step 5, leading with the opportunity, the 3 steps that are constant throughout is we allow people to taste the product, we share the tools, we follow up, and we enroll. And so recognizing this, the process is not of selling, it's sorting, not convincing, okay? So what we want to do is we want to get you into action right away. Now, first thing as we wind down our program here is I want to give you an initial objective that in the next 24 to 48 hours, get 5 people started on the product, just on the product. Follow step 4 in the workbook, get 5 people on the product. That's absolutely something that you can do. But beyond that, also, I want you to make a commitment to the mechanism of the most predictable growth that we have in our business. It's called the home event or small group presentation. Now, when we use the word home event, the venue can be all kinds of different places. It could be in someone's home. It could be in a kitchen. It could be in an office. It could be in a clubhouse. It could be in a restaurant, okay? Doesn't matter. We use the term home event, but most importantly, we want you to recognize that this is the place that we have enjoyed the greatest enrollment success. You see, the end result is to create the duplication in your business. You going out all by yourself with, just basic activity here and there and everywhere does not create any duplication. The home event or small group presentation has been proven to be the most effective enrollment tool that we have. Now, comment, geographic location does not matter. You might say, well, wow, I'm in New York and my enroller's in New Mexico. How is he gonna or she gonna help me? Well, folks, we're going to be able to teach you the steps that you need to take, and we're going to support you with a phone call that's going to come in that's going to make this process very easy and, most importantly, very successful. So let's talk about getting ready for the home event or small group presentation. What do you need? Well, the first thing you got to have product on hand. I'm reminded of the great motivational speaker Zig Ziglar when he talks about the guy that went up in the mountain in the dead of winter and went to his log cabin and walked in the log cabin, and there was a wood-burning stove over there in the corner, and he looked at that stove and he said, "Stove, give me some heat, and then I'll put some wood in you." Well, folks, it doesn't work that way. You got to put the wood in, and the wood in your business is what? The product. You got to have product on hand. So making certain that you have chilled product ready to go. Make sure that you have tools available, that you've got product brochures, you got product CDs, you got business brochures, you got extra copies of the Roadmap to Success and the VIMA Action Plan that you're ready to go. Next, you've got to have a TV and a DVD player that work. Very important. You say, well, of course mine works. Always testing that. But you got to have chairs or pillows on a clean floor to sit on, obviously. Business attire should be casual, should have a PC or a laptop with internet access ready to go. If you don't have that, make sure you have member application forms. You can print them off in your back office. The tone of the event should be relaxed. It should be warm and friendly. Light snacks, maybe bottled water or coffee or cookies or potato chips, something simple and inexpensive because it's all about duplication. Absolutely make certain there's no alcohol. Folks, it's a business meeting. Clearly you can't take alcohol to work with you, so make sure that you keep the environment correct. And schedule one of your upline success coaches to join you for this very first event. Now, they probably have already booked those first two events with you, or maybe they're in the process of doing that within the next couple of days. And so with that, you're now prepared to go to work on the most important activity, and that is inviting people to this event. So obviously, before inviting, what we have to do is pick a date and a time for your first home event or small group presentation. Now, we suggest Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday evenings. These are the best nights of the week. I mean, you can do any night that you like, but we find that those are the best nights for most consistent attendance. And you also want to set a goal of how many people that you want to have there. Now, the objective is to have somewhere in the range of 4 to 6 guests at this event. Now, recognize this. You're going to have about a 50% show ratio. So that simply says that you have to have about 12 people tell you that they're going to be there in order to have 6 showing up. Okay, so plan accordingly. If you want to have a minimum of 5 there, then obviously you have to have 10 guests confirmed prior to the event. Now, all of the work, the place you want to focus on is this invitation. And I want to give you some key phrases that absolutely work in the process of inviting people. Okay, now the goal is just use these as an outline. I'm going to give you a role play here in just a second, but using these key phrases, you can build your personality into it. You can build your own style into it. But these key phrases set you up to have a positive commitment. It goes something like this. Hey, John, what are you doing Tuesday night at 7 o'clock? Okay. And you obviously pause and you wait for him to respond. Assuming he's available, I then say, the reason I ask is Bethany and I recently have discovered something that we believe has tremendous financial potential. And we've scheduled a private business reception, and we're inviting a few key people that we like, that we trust, and that we respect. Do me a favor, John. I would love to have your feedback or your opinion. Can I count on you? He then responds, and the response then would be, hey, do me a favor. If anything comes up, please call me as soon as possible so I can give your seat away. That simply says they're putting some urgency on this. So let's take a look at what we just did. We talked about a concept with tremendous financial potential. We talked about the phrase private business reception. We used the words like, trust, and respect. What does that mean? That obviously means, hey, we like them and trust them and respect them. And here's the key thing. All we want is their opinion, okay? So the possibilities of what can come back. Well, let's go back up, Aaron. John says he's not available Tuesday night. How would I respond? I'd say, hey, no problem, John. I'll tell you the reason I called is Bethany and I have discovered something, a concept that has tremendous financial potential. We're hosting a private business reception on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. You know what? You can't make it, not a problem. I'll follow up with you in a couple of days. We'll get together on a one-to-one basis. So you have the ability to go either way there, okay? We come to the phrase, do me a favor. I want your feedback or opinion. Can I count on you? And he says, well, what's the concept or what's it about? I said, well, it is a business concept built around an amazing nutritional discovery called Vima. I'd love to get your opinion. I'd love to get your feedback. Can I count on you? And so you have the ability here, whether they can make it or not make it, whether they ask a question or not, to have key phrases that are going to work and that are going to be successful in you having, ideally, 4 to 6 people at that home event. So now let's take a look at the home event process, okay, and actually how it begins. Let's walk you through this. Well, the event begins with you welcoming your guests, and it would go something like this. Well, everyone, we're going to get started. Bethany and I are excited that you're here tonight. As we told you on the phone when we spoke to you, we've come across a concept that we believe has tremendous financial potential, a company called Vima, a product called the Vima Nutrition Program. Anytime you find something great, what do? You want to share it with the people that you care about, and that's why we invited you. We care about you. We believe there's value in what you're going to see tonight. We're going to begin with a short DVD. It's going to give you about a 10-minute overview on this product and this company and our founder and president, Mr. BK Borrego. So let's put our attention to the screen. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Right after that, you're then going to introduce the person that's going to help you, your upline success coach, whoever is there that evening, to assist you in the process. And it would go something like this. Well, I hope everyone that you enjoyed that film. You know, it's my pleasure now to introduce to you someone that's become a very good friend of ours. John Smith here, and John and I have known each other for a while, and John is extremely successful in what he does in his primary occupation, but as important to us, he's extremely successful in the Vemma business as well, and he's committed tonight to be here to help us and to help us launch, and so my pleasure to introduce to you my good friend John. John, thanks for being here tonight. Now, what you've done, folks, with that is you've set him up to succeed. He'll introduce himself, share a little bit about himself, and from that point, you're going to move into information on the product. He's going to review the compensation plan, and then conclude the meeting in really about 45 minutes. By 7:45, you're going to be wrapping up. He'll be doing an overview of the system, the tools, and the resources available, and he'll be doing something, some very simple close that's in your workbook. You can follow it. Again, the most important thing is inviting people to step into the kitchen, begin to taste the product. Our goal, folks, is simply this. Our goal is for every person there that night to leave with product and or to enroll. And so I encourage you, I point you to the workbook and to the section entitled Ending the Home Event. Follow that specifically because the goal is simple here. Because what we want to do here is we want to place orders and set up auto delivery. We want to send guests home with product and tools. And we most importantly want to establish clear next steps in terms of what we're going to do. Now, what have you been watching for through this whole process? It's very simple. You've been watching for a person that's really tuned in. Every time I do a home event, I'm looking for a person that's nodding, and not falling asleep, but nodding their head in agreement and following along with me or following along with my host who's there that night, because that's the most important thing that can be done is moving this event into the next event where that person with interest realizes that we're going to do everything that we can to help them succeed as well. So in conclusion, the home event or small group presentation process, it's fun, it's simple, it's absolutely something you can do. And here's what we want you to remember. It is the key to long-term duplication in your business. It's an environment that's fun. You might say to me, well, Tom, you know what? We've got so much information here, and I've got to remember all this. You know what? Hey, you weren't good on a bicycle the first time your mom or dad put you on a bike, you know? And so this is going to take some time. You're going to develop it, but lean upline for the help. But recognize this. Recognize that it's proven, that it's something that absolutely gets the results because it places the business in such a fun and comfortable environment where we can talk about wellness, where we can talk about doing better financially. And guess what? People respond to that. People respond to that more than ever before. And of course, the most important thing at this juncture is for you to make sure that your first two home events are set with your upline coach or your upline mentor. This is something we know that you can do. This is something we want to see you succeed at.